Hello and welcome to the Categorically Romance podcast. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Bree.
And today is our end of the year chatty episode. Bree, how has 2022 treated you?
I think 2022, knock on wood, was a good year. How's it been for you? It's hard to describe because it's like 2020 sucked. 2021 felt like we were in limbo. 2022 feels like I could breathe a little bit. I don't know. How's it been for you?
It's been I've survived it. So, and it wasn't awful. I guess
Yeah. Yes.
So, I'll take that as a win. My partner went through it seemed like a lot of job changes, but really it was just some roughness at a job and a rough transition to a new one. So there was just some limbo there for that. I am facing down my job because
Yay!
in 2023 I am going back to school, just a
You
few months
are.
shy of the ripe age of 40. So but if romance taught me anything, it's that it's never too late to take a different path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm going through a career change too, and it's so not scary, but you're going to be that F and G, right? You're going to be the fucking new guy.
Uh-huh.
And when you're a little bit older, you're like, I don't really know how well I will deal with being the F and G. But it is what it is. Like you said, people start over in life all the time. So I'm excited for you.
How would you rate your success of holiday reading since we just came out of most of the winter holidays? As of recording this, we're still barely before New Year's.
Yeah. I think this time of year, which this is going to come out in 2023, so it's going to be fun for like future us to listen to past us.
Yeah.
But I think this time of year it is the specific season, fall and early winter, that I feel like I put the most expectations and pressure on reading. And this year I didn't do terrible, but I didn't read a ton of holiday books. Like I shared with you and other friends, like I don't really feel like I saw a lot. I mean, obviously I know like in the world of KU and stuff, they definitely are there. And I definitely have some on the Kindle ready to go, but it just, I don't know. It's hard for me because I also help with the Hallmarkies podcast watching holiday movies. So it's
Uh-huh.
like the time of year where it's like I also want to spend time doing another thing that I enjoy, which is movie watching. And I mean, there's movies everywhere, like Amazon, Hulu, Netflix, like freaking Discovery Plus, the Food Network has holiday movies. So they're just everywhere. So my reading definitely slows down. But, everything that I read, I can't say like I have a new favorite holiday book. I will say that. Maybe The Holiday Trap by Rowan Parrish. But we talked about that back in like September. But everything else was kind of just okay. I don't know. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I definitely did way more holiday reading than I have in the past, but it feels like I had these big plans and they didn't. I feel like I had bigger plans than I succeeded at. So, looking back through my Kindle here, I did do a fair amount of holiday reading, but it's you ever have those days where you're running around like crazy, but at the end of it, you're like, what did I even accomplish today?
Yes. A lot of those days.
I feel like really since October, I've had these huge holiday plans of like, oh, I'm going to get all sorts of nocturnes read for October. And then in November, I was like going to read a few Thanksgiving themed books for my category Journey.
Oh yeah.
But
totally
just,
dropped the ball on that.
yeah, like I'm still keeping at it. I'm plugging away at my own pace. I'm not beating myself up over, getting a vlog out every week or even every month. I'm sorry, everyone, if you're following along with that and it's taking a while, but
No, but you said Thanksgiving and I'm like, oh man, I didn't even think about the Thanksgiving romances I had set aside to read.
right.
I totally dropped the ball, totally forgot.
But I read some good holiday romances this year. So maybe This Christmas by Aisha Weedlin was really good. Meet Me in Los Feliz by Kelly
Yes.
Reynolds was really, really good. Um, I've started Christmas in Full Bloom by Denise Wheatley, but I'm still working on it. I it wasn't required reading for the podcast or the YouTube channel or anything, so unfortunately, it takes a back seat. Um, Christmas Rendezvous or The Christmas Negotiation is the renamed title by Karen Booth was incredible.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah.
Let's see what else. A Merry Little Meet Cute by Sierra Simone and Julie Murphy was really good. And then let's see, and then Snowbound in His Boss's Bed by Marcella Bell and Forbidden Kisses with His Millionaire Boss by Hannah Sheik. We have episodes about those, but they were good alternative Christmas
Yeah.
reads there. Yeah.
Do you think that we will begin to see more of that? Now, here's my thing. So, like in the movie space, there were Hallmark had like two towards the end of the Christmas movie season. There was a Hanukkah movie, which was fantastic, and there was a Kwanzaa themed movie. I haven't watched it yet because everybody that I know that has watched it is like they just did not do Kwanzaa at all, really, right? And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, so when you tell us like that a book or a movie is going to be include a certain holiday, but you don't include the holiday, do you think when we and this isn't like, a shot at anything. I'm thinking like those holidays that we don't see a lot we don't see represented a lot,
Hmm.
if you do it and say you're the first to do it or in your space or whatever, and you don't really bring on the Kwanzaa or bring on, whatever holiday we're using here, do you think that that lessens the chance of like seeing more? Because does that make sense? Because
Yeah, yeah, and I
okay,
think I think these Christmas alternative holiday books are in a tough spot
okay,
because, like Kelly, our friend Kelly, was saying, she had a conversation with Becky about how a lot of Hanukkah themed books aren't specifically written for people that celebrate Hanukkah, because they'll have these long sections describing everything about the holiday when that's really that's not really catching any people that celebrate the holiday. The people that celebrate the holiday already know about
they
that.
know
So that's
that.
like this section for the people that don't celebrate that to try and explain everything to them. It's a big piece of education information dump that is arguably doesn't need to be there, or should it be there? Do you think Kwanzaa is kind of going to be put in that tough spot too? That like, are these books going to have to put a piece of education in there as well, even though that might turn off people that celebrate Kwanzaa?
Yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, with this with the movie in particular, it's like, okay, this is the first time this network has ever done one. And so
Hmm.
no, you don't want it to be too info dumpy, but it also was kind of like an afterthought. Like it just was like, oh, we're doing this, and then you kind of forget about it. And then, oh, there's like this really quick celebration, and then you keep moving on, and it's also like a movie. So there's time limits or whatever. But I was thinking when it comes to like actual romance novels, romance on the page, I'm like, man, like, with the Harlequin romance that had the Kwanzaa theme in the book, it's a category. So we know there's page length and like the romance between the couple is still the core focus. Like, so but I don't so it's like how do you do how do you introduce a holiday in a category romance that hasn't been done before? I mean, I know it's possible, right?
Yeah, I guess the way I would probably go about it is use the introducing an outsider to it as a part of the story. So make the love interest have no idea what Kwanzaa's about, and so through that character, you get the introduction to everything. Uh,
Yeah.
that would probably be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the way it should be done, though.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that we continue to see it. I hope that we continue to see it. It's just, it's so tough. Like, I don't, Christmas is so, it's been done for so long that at this point, it can be a huge deal in the book or not. And you can just slap a Christmassy cover on the book and people are going to buy it. But I do think we need like the representation of the other holidays for sure. So I hope that we continue to see them. I hope that, like, but with the movie in particular, I was like, seeing all these like negative reviews, people were like, man, you really didn't do this well. And so my thought was like, now we're never going to get it again, like, will we
Yeah.
get it again kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I don't know. We always have 2023. We'll see.
Right. let's let's give it another 12 months and see what happens.
One thing you mentioned though is like required reading. So one of my books that like I'm not reading for the podcast is A Rancher Worth Remembering by Anna Grace. It's her debut Harlequin
Yeah.
Heartwarming. Like shout out to non-required reading, man. Like and like I had to tweet her on Twitter. I was like, I know I've been reading this book for forever, but I love it and I just don't want it to end. She's like, well, good news. I signed a deal for like 4 more books. And I'm like, perfect. Like,
Oh, good for her.
I just love when we do get that opportunity to just like have a book that you're reading for fun. And if it takes you a month to read, so be it. But like, yeah, this is one of the rare instances this year where I'm like, I just want to read a couple of pages at a time and then be disciplined and put it down because I'm just not ready for it to end. So, yeah,
Hmm.
shout out to non required reading.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, you have to plug the Patreon. Like, we very rarely get to do chatties, so plug the Patreon stuff.
All right. Well, listeners, we do have our Patreon going on. To all of our patrons out there, we thank you so much for the support. It helps us keep the podcast going. We have been pretty much just doing early episode releases on there, but we have a couple of Patreon only episodes on there. We did a bit of a book club, but if you want to let us know what you want to see on Patreon or what would get you to subscribe to the Patreon, please send us an email or give us an at Twitter or on Instagram. Let us know what you want to see us do on our Patreon platform.
It's like one of the easiest ways to support us. Also, depending on where you're listening, you can always, give us a 5 stars or give us a review, whatever. Like it just helps other people find the podcast. And we will take all the listening friends that we can get. So our Patreon's always linked in the show notes. So definitely check there. Erin runs it and does a fabulous job. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, thank you.
We have to talk. Okay, so we did not do a books club in December because it was December, you guys. What other prompt were we going to think of besides the holidays? I think we were exhausted, but January, we're doing January Kiss. And this one is usually we give a 1 word prompt and you interpret it as you will. But Erin, we're going like straight up. This one comes with rules, right?
Yes, yes. So it has to come from the Kiss line, which I need to get my hands on one.
Me too. I'm gonna order. I'm gonna get on thrift books. And or I just want one to read physically for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited to in the new year potentially us have books club be like an actual line. Specifically if it's a line that's closed or whatever. But I'm excited to read and talk Kiss.
Yes, I am too. I'm anxious to know what this whole line was about because we have friends like Allie that just absolutely love it, and I know more than just her. People really really liked the Kiss line.
Yeah, so dust off your kisses if you still have copies. Or I know there are plenty still available on Harlequin's website, but it's going to be fun. I think it'll be a fun way to bring in the new year. And if you all have suggestions of prompts for Books Club in 2023, like hit us up. Let us know what your like 1 word prompt would be, and we will definitely put it on the list. So, Erin, we've been talking about this new unnamed Harlequin line.
We
And
have, yes,
the people want to know what it's going to be called. Like, I just want to know what it's going to be called already.
I know, right? And it's a mystery, such a mystery, and I was scratching my head when you were talking about this off air about what it would be called, what it shouldn't be called.
Yeah.
All
Okay, because think about it. Okay, so you're a Temptation fan. Like, Temptation is perfect. I was almost like, why not just bring it back as Temptation? But we know they're not going to do that, right?
right. And I think that
Blaze,
could possibly give people the wrong idea about what the line would be about too.
yes, yeah, okay, and so then like Blaze is iconic. Harlequin Blaze, right? That just sounds it sounds so iconic. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. And then you had Harlequin Dare, like that just sounds like, okay, we had Blaze, before that we had Temptation, now we have Dare. What do we do next? Okay, like Sarah McLean in Fated Maids always says, like, name is destiny. What do they do next, Aaron?
I
What's the
I
step up after Dare?
I don't know. I was thinking maybe something like dark or
Ooh.
but that I feel like would be almost I don't want to say shaming, but kind of coming close to the edge of shaming the content, which we definitely don't want to do, and that's not what this line is about at all,
Yeah.
and it's not what romance is about at all either.
Okay, so I went on wordhippo.com and I typed in sexy. What's another word for sexy? Because we
Uh-huh.
know this is going to be a sexy line, right? So, what about Harlequin sultry?
It doesn't quite roll off the tongue,
It doesn't. It's
but
not going to be
I like
sultry.
the word sultry
I
though.
do too. Okay, what about Harlequin risque?
That that's a little better, but still, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Harlequin Heat might.
Ooh,
You got the double
there
H
is
there, but
steamy, Harlequin steamy.
yeah.
But they're not going to do that. John is sitting back listening, like, no, guys. Okay, what about Harlequin? Okay, definitely not titillating, so let me not even go there. What about Harlequin sensual?
Oh, I is that steamy enough though? Is that implying enough heat?
This
Because
is true.
sensual could just be wine and cuddles on the couch, for an evening, and
You're right. Okay. All right, what about alluring? Harlequin alluring. The alluring line? That's too much. That's too much. I don't
Mhm.
like the double L in the middle.
Right. But I do like the word alluring.
I do too. Oh, okay. Harlequin lush.
Oh.
The lush line? It sounds like a drug. Oh
Come and
my
do a
gosh.
lush line with me.
Okay. So I pulled up lush and I'm like, what's an ad different for lush? Okay. Harlequin lavish.
Oh, it's not bad, but I don't know. We are obviously not naming this line
We
for
are
a
not
reason.
lying. We're not naming it. I don't know. Like, what is it going to be called? Okay, you have Temptation, you have Blaze, you have Dare, you had Kiss, right? And then you think
Mhm.
about it overseas, these lines had different names. Like, Kiss was one of them was called Riva. Was that Kiss? I don't know. I don't know. Hit us up, let us know. But like, romance for us is true love. So it may be one thing for us, and if it's overseas, it could be something totally different.
Yeah. Oh, right. Right. Yeah. It likely will have a different line name for the different regions.
I'm going to click on, let's see what we can come up with. Oh, spicy. Harlequin body. Harlequin raunchy. They're definitely not going to do
Right.
that. Oh no. At this point, let's just keep it unnamed.
Right.
I'm so used to saying the new unnamed line. But I mean, with when we had that opportunity and we talked with Tony, right? Like the line name, right? That's so much part of the package. And with the
Hmm.
goal being to like hopefully have these on the shelves in stores, what's Walmart going to carry, right? Like so I think that they
Yeah.
obviously have to take that into account too, or Barnes and Noble. What are they going to put on the shelves? So it's tough. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it is. I don't think they're going to have the painted clutch covers like I would hope that they would, but I'm always hoping those will come back. But I don't think Walmart would stock them on the shelves.
I mean, what about Harlequin lustful? Is that a mouthful?
It does seem to have maybe a few too many syllables, but I feel like I'm nitpicking everything at this point. So
I mean, and when we're saying lustful, like, but it is a romance. I don't know. Like, does lust and romance give you the
right.
same idea? I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. Listeners, hit us up. We want to hear from you. Like, what do you think this unnamed line is going to be called? Who knows? Maybe we actually said it and we just don't know it yet.
Right.
Harlequin breathtaking. The
Oh.
breathtaking line? Because I was sitting there last night and
Breathless.
I was like, what about like everlasting? And then I'm like, no, they did have like the everlasting love line that was, like women's fiction ish and all of that. So I'm like, that's already gone. The names that they've had have already been so on point. It's like,
Uh-huh.
where do you go from here? Like, what's next after Dare? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Triple dog dare.
So, yeah, everybody, let us know what you think the line is going to be called. We'd love to know. Okay, new year. Are you doing reading goals or what? Like, because you're starting school, what are you doing with your reading?
I have no idea. Storygraph always pesters me to set a reading goal. I will probably cut it in half from this year. I set mine at 100 books for 2022. I am currently at 114. I'll probably get a few more
Congrats.
before Saturday because I've been reading some manga. So call that cheating if you will. But um, I'll probably set it at 50 books and just, and you know reading to meet a goal is i I have my issues with that. So I'm not going to be too hard on myself, but as far as what I'm going to be reading, I'm definitely going to be diving into the more fantastical. I'm
Okay.
going to be jumping back into Ruby Dixon's world with the aliens and that. I don't know if it's out yet, but Katie Roberts, The Dragon's Bride, is the first in the series. But I think there's going to be more of that coming out, so I'm definitely going to be reading that.
Yeah, you've been like really craving like paranormal and fantasy lately. Like, what's going on? Do you just feel like this is your back to basics era? Like, let me just read the things that I love, or you didn't get to things this year. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be back to things I really enjoy reading, and I think I might have burnt myself out a bit on contemporary, which it happens.
Yeah.
I'll probably burn myself out on fantastical paranormal by June.
Contemporary will always be here. So,
It will.
do you read much historical or no?
I do, and I don't have a problem with it. I
Hmm.
just, for some reason, I haven't been reaching for it much because, like Sarah McLean, I read her, what is it, Scoundrels and Scandals series, and I read that all pretty quickly. So when I find like a series or an author that I really like their historicals, I'll usually binge them. But yeah, I guess I just haven't had the itch. Although it did read The Gentleman of Holly Street by Lottie James.
Lottie
Yeah.
James, yeah. Yeah, I feel like I mean, the majority of my reading has been contemporary with, like, the periodic, historical or, like, starting what the Cressley Cole series. I think I'm still, like, I need to read whatever comes after the Ghost book. Um,
Oh, you
you know,
need to. That one, oh, it's so
what
good.
the one after the Ghost book was good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
It's
good,
it's
okay.
really good.
Because I know we both love the Ghost book, and I was like, "I don't really know if I wanna read anything else now." But, yeah, I think here's my thing. So contemporary will always, I think it'll always be, like, my first love of romance, but with paranormal coming in a very strong second, and I do think you're right. I think maybe I have burnt myself out a little bit because my last few reads, when I finished them, I'm like, "Wow, this was a really well-written book." But it was also just kind of okay. Like I just had that feeling of like it was okay, you know? And I'm like
Uh-huh.
maybe I need to switch gears and just read some other kinds of romance for a little while and then come back because I'm like this book should be a 5 star, but I'm just walking away like it was okay. Does that
Uh-huh.
make
Oh
sense?
yeah, yeah, no, it's definitely how I felt my last few reads.
Well, is there anything coming out in 2023 you're excited about?
Let's see. So there's that Katie Robert, it's the Kraken something. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
I'm just loving that you can go into Barnes and Noble now and what is it, The Dragon's Bride? Was that what the first one? Yeah. Like they have it on the shelf at Barnes and Nobles now. It's so cool to see.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's good. Well, I do have some arcs that I got here that I'll just go ahead and shout out. I haven't mentioned these on social media or anything yet. It's going to be a February release, but Merry Little Christmas by Amy Denman. So this is the third in her Christmas Island series. And then another February release is Pregnant in the Italian's Palazzo by Amanda Sinelli.
The red dress.
The red dress. And then his partnership proposal by Jacqueline Thomas. That one's a January release, and that's a heartwarming.
Mhm.
And then a half baked murder by Emily George, aka Stephanie London, which is about it's a cannabis cafe mystery, is what it says.
We have to read it and do an entire episode on it. We have to.
Definitely, definitely. And let's see. I think. Well, right now I'm reading. It's kind of a New Year's romance, or it begins in the new year, and that's The Year of Cecily by Lisa Lynn, who we're going to talk to. I think the second week of January. We're going to talk to her soon on the
Okay.
podcast. That's a Tootley.
Yay. Well,
How
so
about
much
you?
fun to come. Yeah. I have no idea. I'm definitely excited for I know we have the new Amy Andrews with Entangled. Yeah, with Entangled coming out in January. I'm really excited to get that book. So we have Amy Andrews. I'm really excited for that. I think we have the last book in the new Catherine Garbera Desire series. I'm really excited to. We'll be talking to her.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, we have the Backup Plan by Jill Shalvis that's coming
Oh
out. We'll be
yes.
talking to her. I already read that and loved it. I can't wait to get a physical copy. So much. I'm just excited to see. You mentioned New Year's. Like I want more actual New Year's romances. I feel like that's another holiday that gets the shaft. I mean, it's New Year's. Like I get it. It's not like you're decorating for Christmas or going trick or treating for Halloween or whatever. But I don't know. I just think there's so many fun things you could do at New Year's. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah.
just
There's my book club for January is reading this time next year by Sophie Cousins, and it's a New Year's themed romance in that the two main characters were both born on New Year's Day, and the male main character, whether he was born minutes or seconds before the female main character, we don't know just from the blurb, but essentially he got the attention for being the first baby of the year and got
okay.
his family got a cash prize for it, and he's just been from the female's perspective, it looks like his life has just been blessed ever since that moment, and she has just had the most unlucky life to the age of 30 where they actually meet each other on New Year's Eve, and who knows what will happen from there. I think she will find that his life isn't all rainbows and sunshine that she thinks it is, and maybe her life's not as bad as she thought it was either.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm guessing. but I love the setup for it.
I'm reading Their Icelandic Marriage Reunion by Sophie Pembroke.
Oh,
Um,
Sophie.
I'm like, okay, Iceland, I love it. And so much from the title. They're actually like a Hollywood couple, and the wife walked out on the marriage. I haven't really gotten the weeds and seeds of like what exactly happened. I just know she left, and there's kind of not necessarily like closure, but more of like, okay, let me go on this trip to Iceland. Their friends opening a hotel over there. And it's like, let me go more so to like prove to myself, like, I'm okay. I've moved on. And it seems like he is more of like, oh my gosh, she's here. Like, I want to fix this, but also like, I still don't really know why we aren't together in the first place. It's weird, like, but it's so good at the same time. So I started that last night. I could not sleep, and I was like, just I could not put it down. Sophie Pembroke is so good. So I mean, it's a good start. you know, I
I
say
couldn't
that
sleep
like
all night. That's an
right,
okay start.
yeah. It's like I feel like December. I'm like thinking the January is like tomorrow. It's not. I'm like it'll probably bleed into the next year, but I still have a couple of days, so who knows? It may be the perfect way to round out 2022. But I'm really enjoying that so far. So we'll see. We'll see. Do you have anything coming up on YouTube that you want to shout out?
Let's see. So I just talked about the book club book. I am still currently reading Carol Ross's Wyoming Rodeo Rescue for my category journey. So that vlog will eventually come out, but it'll just take me however long it takes to finish that one. It's a great read so far. I've just been trying to find the time to give it the proper attention and tweet and vlog entries.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, everybody. Hit us up and let us know how your 2022 went. Tell us what your favorite book of the year was. And again, we have Books Club every month. So if there is like a specific old line or current line or just like one word prompt that you're like, you guys should do this, email us. All of our information is always in the show notes, including our Patreon. Easy way for you to support the podcast. We are so grateful to everybody that's already supporting. And yeah, we hope that your 2022 was great, and we hope your 2023 is off to a great start. And yeah, I think that's it, Aaron. Did we miss anything?
I think that's it, unless you wanted to talk about the Lindsay Lohan Christmas movie.
Oh gosh, I haven't watched it. We'll do it. We'll do that separate.
All right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll chat with you later. Bye.
Bye.